Lucy is scrubbing away the perfume. Heard someone, ring the doorbell. Put on your sexy pajamas and open the door. But you can't see anyone through the eyes of a cat. Lucy looked at the card and thought about it. Put the security on and opened the door. Nick suddenly appeared and got his foot stuck in the crack of the door. Then take out the vice. Lucy had no choice but to draw back the curtains to attract the attention of the people opposite. Lucy did not, and the fan had already broken into the attention of the people who came in. By this time Nick had broken in. First he ripped off the phone line and closed the curtain. He turned first to that kitchen curtain. Throw it at Big Strong. Nick's already coming in. She broke the window and went to the living room to shut the kitchen door. Nick too went straight through the glass and dragged Lucy. Lucy began by pointing two large white ends at Nick's face. Then he picked up a vase and smashed it on Nick's head. He was just about to leave and Nick stopped him at the door. She could only return to the bathroom again. The door was about to be opened. With a lunge, Lucy locked the door again, and a knife went in. This time Nick chose to start the destruction. Blow the door open with one blow. She saw through furlong that Nick was about to break the door. She opened the door the moment Nick came in. Nick crashed into the wall and fell into the bathtub. Lucy then picked up the live hairdryer and threw it in. Nick was soon electrocuted until he was 9 years old and floated. Lucy took the opportunity to get out of the house and was intercepted by the mountain. They're looking for the disc that fell under the locker. With the death of the actress, the disc also disappeared, and there was only Lucy, an outsider. They thought the disc was in Lucy's hands, but Lucy doesn't know anything about the disc. Nick rubs up Little Beauty's dress. Stick Nick with the pencil in his hand. Nick's not being polite and ready to kill Lucy. With a tinkle, Nick fell to the ground and Special Agent Jason arrived just in time. They just got on the elevator to the first floor. The signal lights on the first floor are on. Jason realized that the underground must have come after him. The pair chose to take the elevator 4 floors down. Came out of the house and just got into the car and found that someone had followed him. Jason kept asking me where the inspirational disc was. Lucy is just about to write down the address. The walkie-talkie in the car makes a sound. Did you find the disc? Lucy began to doubt Jason's identity. She kept turning the wheel. Jason had to pull over. Lucy took the opportunity to get her hands dirty and handcuffed Jason to the steering wheel. Took a few steps to find a killer in front of him. She could only go across the road. The killer followed suit. Just as the killer was about to strike, Jason drove the killer into the air. Lucy had no choice but to return to the car. She gave Jason the address of the magnet. The two came to the studio, but the underground has arrived and is closing in on this place. Lucy has just removed the disc. The killer behind us is in control. The killer gave Django the milk. Lucy now understood that it was all a cruel trick. The man in front of him has been reusing his feelings. Jason took up the gun and hit Lucy. But what's surprising is that the killer is on the ground. Lucy's sister came home to find out that the home had been destroyed. Heard Lucy's position through the walkie-talkie left behind. When they arrived, they found Jason pledging May to the door. I tried to stop it, but it was too late. Lucy had already walked out. Lucy found herself falling into Jason's trap again. If you're surrounded by countless people, you can't escape. The old man gave the order. Jason shot Lucy a few times. When Lucy fell, Django flashed the disc in his hand. The gang started to leave the scene. The sister who lost her sister was completely irrational. Throw himself at Django and fall on the door. She had her boyfriend shoot him. Came out of the house on his own. Lucy opened her eyes quietly. Get up and reveal your props. It's all a show for the mob. Just when everyone thought it was safe, Lucy was shot in the chest. Luckily, brother-in-law hit the switch by mistake. Set off the prop on Lucy. Django was driving off with the prisoner on his back. Attentive Lucy saw the prisoner's frightened expression that the vehicle may have been tampered with. She clapped frantically on the roof of the car. The brother-in-law yelled at him to get out of the car. Just jumped out of the car and there was a big explosion. It's just a bit of a skin wound. Since then Lucy and Jason have lived happily ever after.